the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know, nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize, be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. Rio and California.
Good morning. Here we are once again to do our daily devotion. Today we want to look at a special passage of scripture found in the book of Romans. Sometimes when we preach some very difficult things, people get upset. People lose patience and they think that you're throwing them under the bus. But the word of God is not there to be nitpicked at. It is to be taught that people will be able to make changes in their lives. And that is always my objective, that people make changes in their lives. Now, as I look at this passage of scripture found in Romans chapter 8, it speaks about the two ways in which people can live their lives. Living by the flesh or living by the spirit. If you go to Galatians chapter 5, you see where the Apostle Paul goes even further. And he says the same things to the Galatians, but he lists the way these things manifest themselves. But he's talking about pleasing God. Because in this country, many people think that just by attending church, they will please God. You will not please God by that. You will not. If you do live your life in that way, you're making a fool of yourself. A lot of our people, I do not know what gets into them, but they live their life with this same very mindset, setting up themselves to, if they die in that state, to go to hell. And sometimes it is preached from pulpits over and over again, but it is not grasped. Instead, it is looked at as if though the pastor is throwing word at people in the pews. But this is so very important. You can live a life only two ways, living for the spirit or living by the flesh. And it goes here and it says in verse 5, it says, for those who live according to the flesh have their mind set on things of the flesh. You see? And we showed this today when we're looking at this Numbers in chapter 14 of the book of Numbers. It talks about when these people went into the land, what they saw and how they came out. And the mindset that they had, out of the 12 persons that went, 10 of them gave a bad report. But if you fast forward to Numbers 25, you will see where they lived out their fantasy. They actually went and did some horrible things in the sight of God, which cost many of them their lives. Why? They live according to the flesh, and they manifested one thing that is listed from Galatians 5, sexual immorality. That's what they did. The two persons who did not go along and did not give the bad report, those people are seen 40 years later coming back into the land with the young people. Deuteronomy is the second giving of the law. And Caleb and Joshua came back with all those young people. And the Lord gave them the law the second time. But we are here looking at how you live. It says that if you are living according to the flesh, you have a mindset on fleshly things. On things of the flesh, if you're living according to the flesh. We could easily check ourselves out and see how we are living. If you're living according to the flesh or according to the spirit. It says, now the mindset of the flesh is death. But the mindset of the spirit is life and peace. Now we want those things. We long for those things. Not death, of course not. Because it says that if you live according to the mindset of the flesh, it's death. Death. And many of our people are living lives that are geared towards doing things of the flesh. Living like that is putting yourself in the crosshairs with God. Why? Because your life is not in line with the things of God. It continues and it says, the mindset of the flesh is hostile to God because it does not submit to God's law. And that's what I'm talking about. It's hostile. Remember now, God is our boss, the ones of us who are living by the Spirit. The Lord is our boss. We pay attention, we listen. That is not to say we don't err and miss the point from time to time. But living in sin and sinning is two different things. And so, as we go along our busy schedule, our busy day, we must always remind ourselves to live according to the Spirit, because other than that, we're living a life that is going to put us at the crosshair of judgment. Love of the world is enmity with God. So the saying here, right? Indeed, it is unable to do so. It can't. So even if it wants to, it can't. The body or the person who is living according to the flesh, even if that person wants to please God, that person cannot please God. It is the very nature. And the Apostle Paul spoke about seeing a second set of laws in his nature. And I know from time to time, you feel that resistance coming from within you. It's in all of us. That is a part of us, because we will live having these difficulties until we die. Think about the time before you became a Christian. And think about after when you became a Christian. As if those things that you were struggling with, if you're struggling with them again. Or if they trouble you as much as they did in the past. They can't, because the flesh has now been controlled by the Spirit if we continue to feed the Spirit. Right? And the Spirit then takes over, giving us greater resistance against those things that we had difficulty with in the past. It is in our best interest to live according to the Spirit.
Prepare for the heat and stay cool with a Reamer Gree air conditioning unit from Benny's. Choose the right BTU unit size for your bedroom or living room and enjoy complete comfort. You can also save money with an inverter unit that is energy efficient. When the heat is on, stay cool and comfortable with an affordable, dependable AC unit from Ream or Gree. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Tonight, as we publicly acknowledge the contribution of fellow citizens to building and strengthening the country that we live in, let us take a moment to ponder what that means. They have shown that love of country isn't something done once a year. It is something practiced every day and consistently demonstrated in the little things they do to build strong communities, to protect the vulnerable, to protect the environment, and in so doing, nurture Belize to be the best in all her glorious diversity. These patriots had busy lives, had regular jobs and families, and yet They still chose to contribute outside of those full responsibilities, to give more, to be more. I thank these individuals for their dedication to our country.
Belize City, get ready for a safe and reliable e-taxi experience like never before. Building on the success of our e-ride bus service, we've heard your feedback, Belize City. We've seen your enthusiasm and how eagerly you've embraced zero-emission transportation in our community. Introducing the e-ride taxi, an electric taxi service, bringing you a cleaner, greener way to travel around our beautiful city. As part of the transformative Belize City e-ride program, this new service is another step toward modernizing our transportation system for a sustainable future. Looking to book your first e-ride taxi? It's super easy. First, download the Medriva app and register. Then, book your ride. Insert your pickup and drop-off location. Select e-ride, choose the number of occupants, and pick your preferred payment method. Confirm your ride and track your e-ride in real time as it makes its way to you. It's fast, eco-friendly, and designed for your comfort. So don't wait. Download Medriva today and let's drive Belize City towards a brighter, greener future, one e-ride at a time. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
Pletz Home Builders is the largest house building company in Belize. Pletz combines the best skilled workers, high-grade materials, and the latest technology to produce the highest quality wooden residential structures. Request any size, color, and the home layout you want. Choose from hardwood or painted metal outer walls. Pletz can modify any of their existing house plans to your satisfaction. Complete with all the installation services you need anywhere in the country, including ambergris Cree. They can also lift your house to your desired height up to 9 feet. From properly treated and cured lumber to quality sidings and floorings, let Pletz Home Builders give your home the finish you need. For prices or questions, call 823-0398 or go to www.pletzhomebuilders.com. Pletz Home Builders, we build to suit your needs.
And I'm a Christian boy. Oh lad, oh lad. Nothing wrong with dancing. Part of our culture. No ways rotating, no. Don't let the devil tempt you. Christian from the Caribbean and music is a part of our life. Yeah, we dance and raise flag, but we represent Jesus Christ. No more partying, no. No more drinking, no. Cause Jesus saved me. But me dance when the gospel hit me. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood, my blood. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood, my blood. Don't hold me, let me dance. Don't hold me, let me dance. Oh yeah, let me dance to Jesus. Let me dance to Jesus. Oh yeah, dance to Jesus. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know, nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize, be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go?
Welcome to another edition
Where
of
would I
Rise
go?
and Shine. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Thursday morning. We are live on September 25. It's Thursday morning. Pastor Scott Sturm normally joins me on Thursday mornings, but of course he's not here in country. But we give God thanks for a beautiful day and that you are here with us. And so we have a full show this morning. There is a lot to talk about, whether it is here in country, whether it is Belize in the United States, at the United Nations, putting forward its foreign affairs agenda and sharing with the world what's happening in Belize, or we go across the world to Israel and Palestine and we take a look at Belize's position on Palestine and the two-state solution, or we travel back to Belize and we look at our own marijuana legislation, our marijuana referendum that is set to take place on the 8th of October in La Isla Cariñosa, Key Carker, and the fact that both the yes campaign and the no campaign are on full steam, and these other issues that are near and dear to our hearts and to our viewers. So we are grateful that you have joined us this morning. Let's start with the weather report. Isn't it wonderful that you looked outside this morning and you saw sunshine, beautiful sunshine. I put on my sunshine shirt and all, very bright this morning. And let's take a look at what the forecast is saying. The general situation for today is for weather conditions to become less moist, less unstable. In the next 24 hours, we can expect sunny skies with cloudy spells today and partly cloudy skies tonight. Showers and thunderstorms will be isolated. Marine conditions, winds are expected to blow from the east at 5 to 10 knots with sea state slight and waves 1 to 3 feet. Oh, it's a beautiful day on the waters. In the islands, it's going to be a beautiful day. Temperatures inland will be 93 degrees Fahrenheit with 75 as the low. And on the coast, 89 degrees Fahrenheit with 83 as the low. And in the hills, 81 degrees Fahrenheit with 76 as with 68 as the low. Friday and Friday night, generally fair weather is expected with only a few isolated showers and thunderstorms. So it seems to me that as the week progresses, well, we're coming towards the end of the week, that we are going to see improved weather conditions. It's been rainy. The rain has been coming down, and the farmers need it. The plants are looking vibrant once again. I almost would have wanted to say that we may kind of go through a mini drought, a mini dryness, but some of the people that I depend on when it comes to telling me about the weather and reminding me, they say that August tends to be a little dry, and September tends to kick it up with water. And I think that is what we are seeing this morning. Well, let's talk a little bit about what is taking place in our country. And we started off with the launch of the campaign in Kikaker, both for the yes position and the no position. So I want you guys to be praying for Kikaka, and for those of you who have relatives out on Kikaka, I would like you to give them a call and try to advise them, encourage them that they are not only voting for themselves, they are, in a sense, also carrying the responsibility of sending a message to this government, to the leaders within government. This is the kind of country that we want. This is the kind of island that we want. But most importantly, this is the kind of community that we want. We are communities, which means that if you are talking about making Kikaka the hub of marijuana industry, you are talking about a village. When I go to San Pedro, La Isla Bonita, the vibe is different. You can see that it is not only a larger population, but it is also a vibrant, more money to flow. I always say that you can know money flowing in a Belize community depending on movement, how many people are walking, riding, golf carts, businesses that are open, the economy as it moves. You can see people moving. When people move, money is moving, money is circulating. And so San Pedro is the larger island, but the smaller island, Kikaka, it has a different feeling because San Pedro is a town, Kikaka is a village. So the dynamic of a town and the dynamic of a village are totally different. A town is faster and a village is slower. And so it is really a travesty. It is sad that they have decided, the people who they really want to push marijuana in Belize, that they have selected, it is a travesty that they have selected a small village, a small community, a laid-back community that is not as active as San Pedro. They want to choose that. So it's like they literally mistake the village culture and the community culture of Kikaka, and like they want to call it a weed culture. So the fact that Kikaka labels itself as a slower community, as a more laid back. You can go and relax a little, ride a bicycle, you can walk because you don't need golf cart. It's a very small community. They want to affiliate that laid back lifestyle with a drug lifestyle. And the people are saying, no, 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 we're not upon that. And I believe that the results of the referendum will show that. And now, so I want to start. I sent one video over, and I'm going to send a second video over, but I want to play the first. I want to give them the first, play the first video. And I want to start with the elders. I want to start with the elderly, because this is their island. This is the island that they built. This is the island that they developed. And I want to say that they need to see that the kind of voice and the kind of work that they put on their island is not going to become something else. So this video already has 7,000 views, though it was released just last night, or yesterday evening, I should say. And so it's already doing very, very well. So let's play that first video, por favor.
Hello everybody. I have been living in Kikakar for 85 years, and I have never heard about this legislation on marijuana. As a matter of fact, we do have some marijuana on the island, but not to the extreme. If this legislation come on and Kikakar gets in it, well then I think it would be a disaster. Even right now, the tourists that come to Kikakar are saying that if this legislation passed, they will not come back to Kikakar. And the evening, the business place is right here. Some of them are saying that they will sell out and come and go somewhere else. This is not a good environment that we are going about. It's not good. It's not healthy. It's not for the young people to be doing marijuana on the streets and going about like zombies. You wouldn't know if they're coming in or they're going out. When the tourist wants to come, they won't be able to talk sense to the tourists. They will be just blubbering and saying whatever they want to say. I have children, and I have my grandchildren too, that I am worried about. Kikakar will not be ours then. Kikakar will not get any benefit from this legislation. The ones that will get the benefit are the ones from the city or whoever is performing this marijuana business. My opinion is that this could not go ahead or would not go ahead. That's why when the time comes, I'm going to go and give my no vote.
Let's keep Kikakar free from drugs. Choose hope, not dope.
There is the say no to legalization of marijuana, vote no, 8 October 2025. So these pictures that you're seeing right now is like, you notice nothing high-tech They are the people where with their own hand and their own painting and their own initiative, making their own videos and their own banners, the videos shot, etc., that there is a very high community spirit as it relates to fighting away this attack that is coming on the island. And I repeat it again, that this idea of the legalization of marijuana does not come from the island. It is a foreign idea that is imposed upon them, now having them as a community reacting back to the this kind of push. It's like you're looking for a place and then you identify the place and say, okay, this will be the place. This place is laid back. This place needs money. Let's use Kikaka as the advantage. And I don't know a community that as a community would embrace marijuana. I don't know the community that would embrace marijuana as a community. I say that because a community is made up of of people with different moral understanding about drugs, and they have religious understanding about drugs, and then they have social understanding about drugs. Beside the fact that you have people in your community, that the more people smoke marijuana in your community, the more guys you will find hanging out doing nothing but smoking. Where do you find the highest concentration of marijuana users? Prison, gang, and neighborhoods that are depressed, poor. That's where you find the most marijuana. I am not saying that you will not find marijuana in other places, but the highest concentration of people using marijuana. Tourism in Kikaka. Tourism in Kikaka was better before the pandemic. When the pandemic hit, all these places took a very heavy hit. You have San Pedro, Kikaka, Placencia, Hopkins. These are the hub. Even Belize City gets tourists. And then Cayo District. These are like the highest concentrations of tourists that come into our country. Before the pandemic, the way that the tourists, BTB, used to calculate tourism is you could actually see the people, the number of people who came into the country for business, the people who came in for pleasure, like holiday. You could see the people who came in for religious activity, religious work. Those are the teams that come from United States that come to build classrooms. They build churches, parks, and they help to build Belizean communities. There are large teams that come in. And those who came in to look for their family. That means you have a family in Belize and you're a Belizean, or you're married to a Belizean and you come home. So you could tick off on the form why you came to Belize. And they were keeping track before the pandemic of people who came for tourist reasons, people who came for religious reasons, people who came for business reasons, people who came in for, as I said, to visit family, and then other, these categories. So you could have tracked that in Kikaka, the biggest money maker in tourism was business people. In other words, a person comes into the country and they want to do business, and then they will spend the weekend on La Isla Cariñosa because they wanted a low, calm, village vibe, tourist experience. The second largest group to visit Kikaka was religious groups. It is important for that to be understood because religious groups bring in students from private high schools. They bring in students from universities. They come in large groups, 20, 30, in some cases 50. There's a group that bring in 80. So the second highest revenue earner in tourism for Kikaka is church groups. When a church group comes to Belize, they may work in Orangewa, Corozal, Belize City, Belmopan, in the rural areas of Cayo. But on the weekend, or on the last few days before they fly back out to the United States, Kikaka is where they go. Kikaka is where they go. Why? They do not want to take their students to San Pedro. Too much drugs is there. It is too busy, too active. It is harder for them to control these large groups in San Pedro. They prefer Kikaka. I need to make that clear because church groups, if they are not comprised of students from high school or students from colleges, they will be comprised of families and friends and Christians who are not interested in drugs. They are not interested in the drug environment, and they do not like when the guys from off the street pester them. Sir, as they come off the boat, this is the news that we are getting from Kikaka. As they come off the boat, sir, you want some cocaine? You want some weed? You want some crack? You want. No. Our Minister of Police, Minister Karim Musa, should really be spending his time helping to reduce drugs on Kikaka and San Pedro and Belize on a whole, rather than using his voice to promote the legalization of drugs. He should be cleaning up the islands rather than being on the island or with islanders trying to reduce marijuana. This is a massive conflict of interest that is taking place in the country of Belize, where we have a minister of marijuana and minister of police is the same person. This is a massive conflict of interest. which is, in my opinion, leading to increased use of marijuana, increased access to marijuana, because every time we talk about legalization of marijuana, we lose some of our young people, because it sends, when government talks positively about marijuana, it sends the wrong message to our citizens, and in particular to our young people. So the second highest, the first highest is business people who go out there to rest. The second one is church groups that go out there because there is less drugs on the island. And number three is tourists that come specifically for holiday. So Kikaka is the destination that you go to when you did not come into the country to specifically for holiday. You came to do business, you came to do ministry, but you want to enjoy. You're in Belize. You want to enjoy the best of Belize. Kikaka is the place. And people on Kikaka have invested, you can see it, they have invested and are investing millions of dollars to increase the accommodation on the island, because that is the island where people go. But here is the point, that during the pandemic, the amount of visitors to all these locations, Belmopan, yes, tourists used to come to Belmopan, Orange Walk, Corozal, Toledo, Stan Creek, and then Hopkins, Placencia, Kikaka, San Pedro. When those numbers fell during the pandemic, they start to come up back slowly. But the group of Belizeans, the group of tourists that took longer to start coming back are the church groups, because they are large groups. So an individual family can say, let's go to Belize, let's go to Belize, let's go to Kikaka, let's go here. So it's taking a while for church groups to come back. And so because of that, Kikaka has not reached pre-pandemic. So before the pandemic, Kikaka used to get in about 170,000. Kikaka no longer gets 170,000. Last year they got 70,000. Last year was their best year after the pandemic. So San Pedro already bounced back. Placencia, Hopkins, Cayo, they've already bounced back. Who not bounced back yet? Belmopan, Corozal, PG, they are not getting. PG is also one of the places where groups go to, either environmental groups, universities, and they are coming back. But it just takes a little while longer. And so Kikaka, you really need to be careful about this decision that you make, because if you want those schools and churches as they are coming back to continue to use your island and not go to a private island, you need to vote no in that referendum. And we have the statistics. I want you to know that I have presented the statistics last week, Wednesday, to your village council. And I will tell you right now as we speak, last year, 70,000 tourists went to your island. 70,000 is the number. And the number of groups so far that have said that they are not going to return to the island if you legalize marijuana represents 10% that we know of. I'm not talking about the churches and church groups that I do not know of. We are talking of the church group that I know of that have said, Pastor Wade or Senator Wade or whatever they want to call me, if marijuana is legalized on Kikaker, we will not go back. That will be an immediate $3 to $4 million loss for Kikaker. And I think the businesses that depend upon church groups and business people who come into the island but just want to spend a couple days there, those businesses in Kikaker, you guys know yourselves. I don't want to call any names this morning because I will go on the island and talk with those businesses to say, here are the groups, these are the names of the groups that will not come back because already Kikaker has too much drugs. Already these church groups were saying, too much drugs are on this island. They're going, we run from San Pedro, we run to Kikaker, and already we are being pressured. And I'm trying to get the stories from the hotel owners on Kikaker. They have the stories. I just need to get their permission so that you can hear as a nation the negative effect that drugs already is having on Kikaker, already without legalization. Without legalization. So that first video that we played where the lady is saying that the owners of some businesses are already saying that they will sell their properties and come off the island. I hear the minister, I hear the councillor, Councillor Rosado. They are painting a picture as if there is going to be this great boom, that marijuana is going to bring a boom. My statistics is showing that immediately after marijuana is legalized, you will not have a boom. You will have an immediate sucking sound. A vacuum is going to be created of people that will not return to the island. And these are people these are groups, if I call their names, and we will release the list closer to the time, you know them working across the country of Belize, and the place where they go to is Key Caulker. And this is my main point to Key Caulker residents. You cannot be a family-friendly tourist destination and a marijuana paradise at the same time. You cannot be the place where families want to go and the place where marijuana users, marijuana producers want to go at the same time. You are at a crossroad where Ilya and the Minister of Police are telling you, let's go this way because there's more money to make in marijuana. And you are at the point where we are saying, no, you are already on a road to family tourism. Keep going in that direction, and let's get the government to invest more in your streets and improve your community. You do not want to be a community known for marijuana. That will be devastating to Key Caulker's reputation internationally and nationally. And it's going to be devastating to your children because your children will no longer see marijuana as a problem. They will be normalizing marijuana to your children. They will say, they will be walking past and they will be seeing smoke, they will be smelling smoke, and that smoke will become normalized for them. And you know what the Ministry of Health is already saying about secondhand smoking. Imagine now secondhand marijuana. Because once you smell it, you just smoke it along with those who are using it. Once you smell it, you are inhaling it as well. And so you are at a crossroads. Can I show the pictures of the streets of Kikaka? This is after about, I will just say 1 hour of rain, because it was not 1 hour of rain. Maybe it was half hour of rain when I was out there on the island. And this is a road, by the way. This is not a canal. This is not a canal. You can see the pothole. Can you see the pothole down at the bottom? Kikaka has 0 drainage, 0 paved streets. It is as if they are on their own. Look at this street right here that you are seeing. And you can you see that the potholes themselves are not holding the water? That the water literally, way over the pothole, like you have to go down 1 foot before you reach the pothole. This is just from a small amount of rain on this island. I tell you, my heart went out to Kikaka. And I did not take a picture of this primary school. Like more than half of the primary school was full of water. I am not talking potholes of water. I am talking about like a lake. This is unacceptable. Unacceptable. Here you have a community that is helping the whole country of Belize bring in tourism money. I could not find, except for the hospital, the polyclinic, I could not find a spot where I could say, this is your money at work, Kikaka. This is your money at work. And so I don't want to cuss out the village council. I don't even want to cuss out the local councillor who believe that marijuana will be a solution, because we can see that the infrastructure of Kikaka needs tremendous improvement. We can see it. But my question is, at what expense? It is unfair for you to tell the village of Kikaka, if you legalize marijuana, we will give you some of the money. Why can't you give them a portion of their tax dollars now? Why? I want to call out the minister that is responsible for San Pedro and Kikaka, Minister Andre Perez. Minister, what are you doing for Kikaka? What have you done for Kikaka? It appears to me that some of your supporters on the island were told, don't get involved, because they were saying that they were not going to get involved, and then all of a sudden they see the Minister of Police now making an advertisement telling Kikaka to vote yes, and they're like, you're telling us not to get involved, and then the minister is getting involved. And we will air that video, maybe not this morning because it has to be edited. Yeah, it will have to be edited. But what have you done for Kikaka? What is being done for Kikaka? I tell you, my heart moved, man. My heart moved when I went out to Kikaka, because for a community that contributes so much to tourism, the money is not going back. But now you are telling them, if you vote yes on marijuana on Kikaka, then a portion of the money will come to you. I would say run the money now. Run the development now. Put the drains in so that Kikaka needs a comprehensive drainage system and a drainage program. Because when water stands, when water cannot flow, you are looking at disease. You are looking at disease. Be it dengue, malaria, all of these things. It is a shame that the street and drainage of Kikaka has had little to no improvement. And this is why I stood up in the Senate, and for all of the millions and tens of millions and hundreds of millions of dollars that the government draws down, PUP, UDP, it doesn't matter. When they're talking about climate resilient infrastructure, I ask this question: where is the climate resilient structures on Kikaka? You'll notice the first picture was the clinic. You can't even access the clinic after half an hour of rain without getting wet. And so this needs to improve. The entire front, right? And you see this area, this second picture that you're looking at here right now that I told you is not a waterway, it's not a creek. This is a road, for goodness sake. And right close to this area is where the clinic is. So the people who are in the poorest areas and the newest areas, boy, they can be locked off so easily. And it's not everybody on the island that have a Gulf cat. So those people are walking through water with just a little bit of rain. It rains in Belize half of the year. And so to now take a tiny village that needs infrastructure development and then to wave marijuana in front of them is seriously immoral and unethical. There is one more video clip that I want to play, which is another elderly lady. I think it was the last clip that I sent. I want to play that before we go to a commercial break. Can we play that? Can we play that video?
I am 86 years old. Never in my life I heard about this marijuana legislation. I have grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and I do not want them to grow up in this nasty world. Right now we live peacefully here, enjoying our island, and people who are not from here want to destroy it. People, before you cast your vote in the name of God, remember the future of our children. Remember, we love our Isla Cariñosa, not Isla de Destrucción. We want our island clean. I will vote no. I ask you to protect our island and our children and vote no.
And so that again is another elderly person that like this issue has moved them so much to the point where even the very elderly people on the island, they have to now step forward. But it's not just the elderly. you will see children and young people and so on that are coming forward as it relates to their community. So I say to you, if you have residents in Kikaka, talk to them. And if you yourself as a resident are a resident from Kikaka, I want to encourage you to vote no and to join the campaign and let your voice be heard on this issue. You can't go both ways. And it's separate. Take the tourism out of it and then ask yourself the question, even if you put tourism aside, that's what I'm saying, which tourism is your mainstay, but put tourism aside, what kind of community do you want for yourselves? What kind of community do you want for yourselves? Because it will have an impact upon your village. This is a village, a very small community. You have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide from what you turn Kikaka into. Whatever you turn Kikaka into, you will live that. You will have to live that. So we'll take a break, and when we return, there's more on the other side. You're watching Rise and Shine on PlusTv. We'll be right back.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me Sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me Sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go?
Prepare for the heat and stay cool with a Reamer-Gree air conditioning unit from Benny's. Choose the right BTU unit size for your bedroom or living room and enjoy complete comfort. You can also save money with an inverter unit that is energy efficient. When the heat is on, stay cool and comfortable with an affordable, dependable AC unit from Ream or Gree. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Tonight, as we publicly acknowledge the contribution of fellow citizens to building and strengthening the country that we live in, let us take a moment to ponder what that means. They have shown that love of country isn't something done once a year. It is something practiced every day and consistently demonstrated in the little things they do to build strong communities, to protect the vulnerable, to protect the environment, and in so doing, nurture Belize to be the best in all her glorious diversity. These patriots had busy lives, had regular jobs and families, and yet they still chose to contribute outside of those full responsibilities, to give more, to be more. I thank these individuals for their dedication to our country.
Belize City, get ready for a safe and reliable e-taxi experience like never before. Building on the success of our e-ride bus service, we've heard your feedback, Belize City. We've seen your enthusiasm and how eagerly you've embraced zero-emission transportation in our community. Introducing the e-ride taxi, an electric taxi service, bringing you a cleaner, greener way to travel around our beautiful city. As part of the transformative Belize City e-ride program, this new service is another step toward modernizing our transportation system for a sustainable future. Looking to book your first e-ride taxi? It's super easy. First, download the Medriva app and register. Then, book your ride. Insert your pickup and drop-off location. Select e-ride, choose the number of occupants, and pick your preferred payment method. Confirm your ride and track your e-ride in real time as it makes its way to you. It's fast, eco-friendly, and designed for your comfort. So don't wait. Download Medriva today and let's drive Belize City towards a brighter, greener future, one e-ride at a time. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
Pletz Home Builders is the largest house building company in Belize. Pletz combines the best skilled workers, high-grade materials, and the latest technology to produce the highest quality wooden residential structures. Request any size, color, and the home layout you want. Choose from hardwood or painted metal outer walls. Pletz can modify any of their existing house plans to your satisfaction. Complete with all the installation services you need anywhere in the country, including ambergris Cree. They can also lift your house to your desired height up to 9 feet. From properly treated and cured lumber to quality sidings and floorings, let Pletz Home Builders give your home the finish you need. For prices or questions, call 823-0398 or go to www.pletzhomebuilders.com. Pletz Home Builders, we build to suit your needs.
And I'm a Christian boy. Oh lad, oh lad. Nothing wrong with dancing, but our culture, no ways rotating, no. Don't let the devil tempt you. Christian from the Caribbean and music is a part of our life. Yeah, we dance and raise flag, but we represent Jesus Christ. No more partying, no. No more drinking, no. Cause Jesus saved me, but me dance when the gospel did play. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood, my blood. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood, my blood. Don't hold me, let me dance. Don't hold me, let me dance. Oh yeah, let me dance to Jesus. Let me dance to Jesus. Oh yeah, dance to Jesus. Oh yeah,
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know, nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize, be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sun and sea.
Belize, and I don't know, I'm watching my phone, and I think they picked the wrong village to try to launch marijuana. I think they picked the wrong village. Somebody just sent me a comment. This person says, I'm reading from Facebook. We're not talking about people who are launching a campaign. We're talking about individuals, how they personally feel, and that they are just posting. This person said, as a resident and spiritual leader of Kikaka, I have a couple questions to launch to Karim Musa. When was the last time he was in Kikaka? Number 2, how good is his relation with her Kikaka residents? Number 3, how can he state what is best for Kikaka when he does not live or visit on the island? Number 4, who will really benefit from this reckless decision? We the residents or you, Mr. Karim Musa? And number 5, what makes you think that we need marijuana to be legalized in order for Kikaka to have a better future? I must say, this is the most senseless decision and mediocre way of thinking. Plus, shame on you and the person here insulting the island residents as if we can't move forward without marijuana. However, I stand firm with my principles and my values, and on the 8th of October, my vote is a no. Definitely no. Kikaka, let us determine, without weed in our brain, the future for the island, for our children, and for our young people. And that is not a campaign, that is just a person saying, this is what I am seeing, all right? And then here is another one. I want you to see this one. This again is an individual on their own from Kikaka posting. And I'll tell you what, when the decriminalization hit us, it was only a very, very short period of time, and a lot of people were confused. But decriminalization has been bad for Belize because the amount of people since decriminalization who are now on drugs is far higher. And the statistics is there to show it because NDAC has the statistic and showed it to us. I just have to go through my notes again and pick up the slide. But decriminalization has not been good for Belize because more people are now on marijuana and more people are now on drugs. And so here you come now with another step after decriminalization, which we said it is so, is now the step that is legalization of marijuana and trying to create an industry with Kikaka as the hub, as if Kikaka wants to be the hub of marijuana. So here is an individual. This is a Kikaka resident, and maybe what I should do is just share the link with our technicians so that if they want to show the page while I read. But this person is called, this person's name is Diana Marin. And I have not met Diana Marin as yet, but I would love to meet Diana Marin. And this is her post. This is her personal post that she has put forward. And this is what she said, that Diana Marin. This is a post that she made. She said, "Good day, everyone. I wanted to share my thoughts on a deeply personal issue affecting the island I now call home. It feels wrong to remain silent when so many of us have lost loved ones due to drug abuse, whether it began with marijuana or alcohol. My prayer is for those of you who vote yes on this issue. My prayer is that marijuana never find its way to the door of your loved ones, the ones with a weaker mind, who may have their dreams destroyed by it. Every action we take today will have consequence. Sometimes those consequences do not affect us directly, but they can come for the people who we hold most dear. This is not just about a plant. It's about the well-being of our community and the future of our children. We must consider the potential for increased addiction, impaired driving, and the impact on mental health. Where are our mental health professionals? Why are our mental health medical professionals silent? Why are you hiding when our country is at the crossroads making decisions on the marijuana issue? You mental health professionals in Belize, you know the stories. One of the guys said that there is a ward in Belize, in Belize City that they call the Fonto ward, the mental health ward. In Belize City, at KHMH, they call it the Fonto ward. He said, for every action we take today, it will have consequences. Sometimes these consequences don't affect us directly, but they can come for the people who hold most dearly. This is not just about a plant. I don't read that part already, right? We must ask ourselves if the potential revenue is worth the human cost. I believe in personal responsibility, but I also believe in protecting the vulnerable. This is a moment where we must look beyond personal gain and consider the collective good. Very powerful words by Miss Marin. Very powerful. This is the time to look beyond personal gain, she's saying, and consider the collective good. So we're looking at the last paragraph. Let us not forget. Let us not forget the lives already lost and the families that left behind. Let their stories be a constant reminder of the potential dangers we face. Thank you for listening. All right? So it looks to me like this person make them one vote no. This person make their vote no, own vote no. I have never seen this vote no before, and I want to congratulate the individual, and I think we have to try to help get this out already. Right? And so if you want the link, I can send you the link that this individual is putting forward. And these are, it's like you don't even need a massive campaign on the island, because the island don't know who will behave simple already because of marijuana. The island don't know that they don't got too much tour guide where they offer tourists tour and then go in our car and go smoke and get high with the tourists there, right there, left stranded. The community don't know which taxi man they can use. The community don't know which taxi man they can send for go pick up tourists, because the taxi man will offer the tourists there drugs. And they know that that look bad upon the island. So the island don't know that marijuana and drugs, they affect them negatively. They give them a bad reputation and they want a positive one. That is why I am telling you that the idea did not come from the island. The idea did not come from the island. It did not emerge from the island, because the island is fighting back and fighting against it in a way that I have never seen before. As a person that has been on the forefront on moral issues in this country, I'm not the only one. There's a team of us. I have not seen a community mobilize so fast, so energetic, so grassrootsy, so generic against this invasion. And so I want to challenge you to support the no on Kikaka. I believe that a no on Kikaka sends a very powerful message to the government of Belize and to those in government that are seeking to push legalization. It is not everybody in this administration that's pushing. I have had text messages and I have had conversations with ministers that are against it. But they are the ones as an administration that decide that they wanted to have a new growth industry and have grown nothing new except the only plant in the new growth industry is they are planting the idea that drugs are good for you. There is a company in Belize already that is selling CBD droplets and CBD in Orange Walk. They were selling CBD ice cream. You saw the problem in Belize when the police confiscated the gummy bears, the gummy bears, the gummy candy, and somebody threw it away, and the people went into the garbage and pulled out the gummy out of the garbage and start to sell it close to the Methodist school. Is it St. Luke's Methodist School on Mahogany Street? You could see for yourself that by just eating the gummy, children were hospitalized, teachers were hospitalized, they were hospitalized. And with all of that, the ruckus that occurred on St. Luke, on that at that Methodist school, at that primary school in Lake Independence, Mahogany Street, Lake Independence, with all that, these people want to move forward with this marijuana issue. You can't say, again, as a country, that marijuana don't have negative effects, because you see how much people it carried to hospital in a one short period of time. Several people spent days. They spent days. Yet we are here now wanting to take an entire village and converting it into a marijuana hub. I want to encourage the villagers of Kikaka on our behalf, on behalf of the mainland. I cannot vote out in Kikaka. We have a national referendum on hold. So I think everybody is watching Kikaka to see what is the response, because you could talk. I could sit down here and talk. We could talk. But a referendum is a legitimate polling of the thoughts and aspirations of our nation, of our communities, and of those who go to the polls. And so we are creating the system. I was hoping that I would not have to be personally involved, that I would just start it and let it catch fire. And I saw it start. I saw the no campaign start. I saw the no campaign catch fire. And I thought, wonderful, the community has taken over. But when we began, when the community leaders began to access and try to access the Elections and Boundaries Commission, they start to get turn around. The village leaders of the no campaign, they began to get turn around, until they picked up the phone and called me to say, Pastor, we are having problems with the Elections and Boundaries who are supposed to carry out the marijuana referendum. We're having problems to access the voter list. We're having problems to get our scrutineers and so on in. And so I had to pick up the phone and speak to Chief Elections Officer Tamai. And she explained to me that the commission had decided that the only groups that are going to be legitimately a part of the process from a formalized point of view will be the church, the unions, the NGO community, and the business community. Now, they made a decision and didn't contact us. They contact us only asking for monitoring the process. Monitoring the process means you are neutral. Monitoring the process means you are ensuring that Elections and Boundaries is doing the right thing, that nobody will try thief or steal or do anything inappropriate or illegal. But then it turns out to be more than that. They're saying that these people will not have access as a community, as community groups, as an organized negative campaign, will not have access to the resources unless they come through one of these four groups. So it's like, all right, well, here we go again. The church is going to get involved now to an even greater degree, even though the community has the full capability to run its own campaign. And so I had to write into the Elections and Boundaries and saying, well, here we are going to now actively involve ourselves in the campaign. For me, in my heart, what I wanted was a grassroots, organic community campaign. That's what I wanted to see. I have confidence in the Kikaka response, but they have to now, according to this decision that was made, or according to law, whatever happened in the Elections and Boundaries sphere, that it is the church now that has to step forward as the legally recognized body that will push the no position while the community is fully capable of doing it. And so we had to again like lock arms, and so the rest of the push, it's going to be the church officially representing the community legally to ensure that the community can have a no voice. And so that's where it is. And I want to categorically state that it is not the church that has entered into politics. It is the political leaders that have infringed upon the church's position on all of these issues. Because the church is not interested in having all of these conflicts with government. Governments are to rule, but when it comes to moral, spiritual, social issues, the church cannot remain silent. So I know that even before I became a church leader, church leaders were fighting against the issue of abortion and the issue of gambling. That's before I entered. I was on the outside, just a musician at the time, a Christian musician. And I knew that the church leadership were already fighting these two issues. Today, it has expanded to LGBTQIA, it has expanded to free speech and the Equal Opportunity Bill, it has expanded to now legalization of marijuana and the fight against drugs. It has expanded now to the definition of family, what is a family, and protection of the Belizean family, the authentic Belizean family versus other structures of family that are needed because the main family structure is falling apart. And we also have now the issue of Israel and Palestine, where we see that the small group of about 300 people are trying to push the government to block Israelis from visiting Belize, which is a discriminatory act, because anybody from a country that recognizes Belize or sovereignty, the only country on the whole world that does not accept our sovereignty is Guatemala. Yet, we have Guatemalans that live in Belize. We have Caibil, which is the elite Guatemalan force. Then live here in Belize. Why me to tell you that? I talk to one of them who lives in Belize, and he tell me about others who live in Belize. Caibil. Now Guatemalans move and travel freely, live in Belize, and I have no problem with it. Belizeans have no problem with it. So what we do, they interfere in an Israel problem. When we got Caibil from Guatemala live with we, but then we don't even want Israeli visit. This is anti-Semitic. It is anti-Semitism, it is racism, that you will select out a group of people and say, we don't want you here because of their skin, because of their DNA, because of their genetics. That is the definition of racism. The definition of racism. That a Venezuelan can come here, Guyanese can come here, Chinese could come here, Taiwanese could come here, African could come here, Cuban could come here, Guatemalan could come here. But you know what? The Israeli here? You're racist, man. You're discriminatory. People should be able to come here. And Belize needs to have a neutral position. And so I announced on one of the other media houses that we are putting out a petition. A petition is going to go out on the Israel issue on 3 matters. Number 1, let them visit. Palestinians should be able to visit. Actually, Palestinians don't only visit Belize, then they way up in our government. Then they way up in our foreign Ministry of Foreign Affairs. That's why I believe that Belize is so biased against Israel and is so pro-Hamas. Belize is pro-Hamas, where Hamas is the government in Gaza, and you have the government, they kidnap people. Sound familiar? The government of Hamas kidnap Israelis, which includes Jews and even a couple Arabs were there, because they're okay, and have them hostage up to today. The state kidnap people right there in Gaza. And so, and our government is supporting them. And Israel, which is a legitimate state, we have, I think it's like 20% of them is Arab or Palestinian, and the others are Jews, and then other people from other country, and Jews have all different colors. I have the video, you know, I have videos of these things. We don't got nothing for the cross day. We can't even send 10 BDF cross day. And you have Guatemala, the Macui, and you notice Guatemala is getting more aggressive. I saw a video where they mock the BDF. They say, I think they said we are thinking about 2,000 BDF, and we try fight with them Pandesar Stone. We need to be careful, you know. We need to take care of home. So here are the 3 positions that we believe Belize should have. Number 1, allow people to visit our country once they are respectful and abide by our laws. Allow them to visit. Number 2, we are to remain neutral. We should be neutral. We need to reinstate diplomatic relations. We have diplomatic relations with Palestine, and we are one of the few countries in the world we cut off diplomatic relations with Israel. Can you imagine that Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, all of these countries still have diplomatic relations with Israel? Who not got diplomatic relations with them? Belize, what we doing that? What we doing that? That are exactly what we call sweat fever. Sweat fever. And so that is the second part of the petition that we are sending around, that Belize should maintain a neutral position. And number 3, make us stop getting at other people's business when I have nothing to do with Belize. It has nothing to do with Belize. If you want to see where I tell you the truth, that these Belizeans are anti-Semitic, just look under the comments. Go read the comments that the government decisions have generated, and you will see the thick level of hatred that the people who are supporting the government position, just look at their comments and you will see for yourself the level of anti-Semitism that is there. And before I go, let me take a look at some of the comments that have come in, because I think I see a couple comments. that have coming in. This person said, why did they choose Kikaka specifically? And then, yes, mental health is an issue with drug consumption, and is that being addressed? It's being addressed by us, but it's not being addressed by the actual health authority. I believe that the professionals need to come forward. All right, so that's it for now. I think we are on schedule. There's a lot more to discuss, not today. We're grateful. Thank you very much for joining us. And even see no telephone, so we never take no telephone call from all of us here at Rise and Shine. God bless you, Belize. See you tomorrow.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize.